Bandits kill 3, kidnap 2 in attack on rice farmers in Niger State. And power crisis deepens as TCN announces northern blackout. U.S. court clears Air Peace boss, fines Mayfield $4,000. And on the foreign scene, London train collision leaves 1 dead, 15 injured. Welcome to News Updates on Trust Television. I am Lilian Ogazi. And now to the news. 3 persons have been killed and 2 rice farmers abducted in a bandit attack on Sunday in the Mariga local government area of Niger State. The attack took place around 9 a.m. between Bangui and Kotonkoro. The assailants, believed to be bandits, blocked the road, shooting at vehicles traveling along the route. Among the victims were drivers of a car, a young girl, and passenger identified as Alhaji Ibrahim. Reports had it that they were traveling to the market when the attack occurred. Shehu Kotonkoro, the owner of the vehicle, confirmed the incident, expressing his concern about the lack of security in the area. He noted that the attack happened just 5 kilometers from Kotonkoro. The chairman of Mariga local government, Abbas Musa Kasuwa Garba, confirmed the attack and sympathized with the victims' families. The State Police Command is yet to speak on the incident. The Nigerian Armed Forces has said it is more than committed to taking the fight against banditry to the terrorists in their enclaves to free Zamfara and other contiguous states from the incessant attacks, as it warned them to surrender or die. Theater commander of the newly established Operation Fansayama, Major General Oluyinka Soyele, made this position known during a visit to Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State at the government house in Gusau, the state capital. According to him, the only option the terrorists have is to surrender. Zamfara State in northwest Nigeria has been the epicenter of banditry, and its people continue to face deadly attacks, abductions, and killings for over a decade now. Nigeria's electricity crisis has hit a new height as the Transmission Company of Nigeria says most part of northern Nigeria is currently under blackout due to transmission line tripping. A statement by TCN's General Manager on Public Affairs Ndidimba on Tuesday said the tripping 330 kV DC transmission line occurred on Monday, plunging the northeast, northwest, and parts of the north central into blackout. Mba said the 330 kV Ugwaji Appear double circuit transmission lines 1 and 2 tripped due to a fault resulting in a forced power outage. She stated that throughout Monday, the Appear team patrolled the line, navigating challenging terrains in search of the fault, reaching as far as the River Benue. According to her, TCN is making every effort to trace the cause of the outage to enable its engineers effect repairs and restore bulk power supply through both lines. Now moving on. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says the recent attacks on it by Senator Oyeloya Yisa Ashiru, representing APC Kwara South, was born out of vendetta rather than patriotism. According to the NDLEA, the senator's house in Ilori, Kwara State, was raided and consignment of drugs recovered. The chairman, Chief Executive Officer Buba Marwa, represented by the Director, Media and Advocacy of the agency, Femi Babafemi, also said 3 of Ashiru's aides were arrested, prosecuted, and sentenced, while 1 was sent to jail in June this year. Babafemi berated the senator for his comments that the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is corrupt and compromised. At the Senate's plenary last week, Ashiru had said NDLEA is the most corrupt and compromised government agency in Nigeria. He said this while contributing to the debate on a bill for an act to establish a National Institute for Drug Awareness and Rehabilitation, claiming that the NDLEA has failed in its mandate woefully, thereby giving credence to creation of another drug-related agency. The NDLEA, however, said the senator's comments were uncomplimentary, unfounded, and defamatory.
The personal house of Senator Ashiru in GRA Ilorin, the capital of Kwara State, had been raided in recent past by the agency, where drugs and illicit substances were recovered while two of his aides, Ibrahim Mohammed and Mohammed Yahaya, were arrested. So, going by this backstory, it is deductible that these encounters that the agency has had with the senator must have been responsible for his outburst, and unfortunately false allegation, the type that nobody within and outside of government has ever leveled against NDLA before. This same agency that he wrongfully got into the headline as the most corrupt government agency in Nigeria is the same agency that has been receiving accolades from local and international bodies.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has emphasized the need to strengthen the legislature, describing it as an investment in the stability and progress of Nigeria's democracy. He made these remarks during the presentation of the Parliamentary Development Program to the diplomatic core development partners and donor agencies in Abuja. The report.
The Speaker highlighted the high turnover in the legislature as a significant challenge, with 281 new members elected out of the 360 in the 10th Assembly. This, he said, disrupts continuity and erodes institutional memory, both vital for effective governance. He called for continuous capacity building to equip new legislatures with the skills needed to contribute from day one. He stressed that a strong legislature is central to driving reforms and ensuring good governance, noting that many critical reforms in Nigeria depend on the legislature's lawmaking and oversight roles.
Continuous capacity building is crucial to mitigate this challenge, ensuring new legislators have the skills and knowledge needed to contribute effectively from day one. By investing in the institutional strengthening of the National Assembly, we are laying the foundation for a resilient legislature that can better contribute to the overall governance of the country.
UNDP Resident Representative LC Atafwa called for stronger partnerships to advance the Parliamentary Development Program, urging donors, development partners, and civil society to support the initiative. She emphasized the need to build a more inclusive and responsive House of Representatives that serves Nigerians and strengthens trust in the democratic system. Atafwa highlighted that expanding capacity building efforts and scaling interventions require collaboration and resource mobilization from all partners.
I urge you all, particularly again our donors, development partners, civil society, to support the Parliamentary Development Program. Together we can build a stronger, more inclusive and responsive House of Representatives that not only serves the people of Nigeria, but also strengthens their trust in our democratic system. We can only deepen the scope of capacity building initiatives and reach of its governance strengthening efforts, broaden our scale of interventions and move with speed, if only we aggregate the potential of all partners, including for resource mobilization for the implementation of this program.
The UNDP resident representative assured that the agency and the United Nations will continue supporting the program to ensure Nigeria's legislative institutions remain inclusive and capable of addressing future needs.
The District Court in Atlanta, Georgia, has exonerated the Chief Executive of Air Pegasus, Allen Onyema, of any business fraud. This is after 3 years of investigation involving about 5 agencies of the American government and the subsequent legal fireworks. The court, which discovered that there was no loss against any bank in the indictment suit filed by the attorney for the Northern District of Georgia, however, ordered a probation and $4,000 fine against the former staff of Springfield Aviation Company Incorporated, Ebony Mayfield, last Friday. A statement by the law firm of Augustine Alge & Co. counsel to the airline explained that Mayfield was an administrative staff of Springfield with limited knowledge in letter of credit transactions who pleaded guilty to 1 count in the indictment, presumably as she realized the futility of attempting to explain several letters of credit utilized for purchase of aircraft for Air Pegasus Limited in a jury trial. Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals has taken legal action against the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority and some major importers in the oil and gas sector at the Federal High Court in Abuja. In a suit, Dangote Refinery sought 100 billion naira in damages from NMDPRA for continuing to issue licenses for the importation of refined products such as automotive gas oil and Jet A1. Dangote claimed the refinery's production exceeded domestic consumption levels, rendering imports unnecessary. Dangote also sought the cancellation of import licenses granted to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, Matrix Petroleum Services Limited, AA Rano Limited, and 4 other firms. But oil marketers kicked against this, stressing that the market had been deregulated and dealers are free to import the commodities or buy from the $20 billion Lekki-based refinery. In a bid to tackle the recurring flooding challenges in Lagos State, the government has embarked on a demolition exercise to remove illegal structures obstructing drainage channels and canals. The latest operation took place in Arowojobe Estate, Mendel Villa, Maryland, where several structures and drainages are being demolished to clear the water path. The demolition exercise was carried out by the Drainage Enforcement and Compliance Team of the Lagos State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources in collaboration with security agencies. The operation is part of a broader initiative to proactively address the flooding challenges in Lagos. The flooding challenges in Lagos have been exacerbated by illegal structures and encroachment on the drainage channels. The government's efforts to address this issue have been ongoing, with several enforcement operations carried out in recent months to remove obstructions blocking drainage channels across the state.
This demolition, so demolition is going on. On this alignment, we started as truly Peace Estate. So far, to be precise, I don't know the numbers of buildings, but in this Commissioner of Lagos Ministry of Environment and Water Resources have visited the site, and it can no longer wait for the demolition to be completed, because on this alignment here, construction is still coming in. So without all this demolition is being done.
Now moving on to other stories, kicking off with Benue State, where a Makurdi-based legal practitioner has condemned the lynching and sometimes excommunication of older people over alleged witchcraft and voodoo practice. Speaking with Trust TV in the Benue State capital, the legal practitioner and human rights activist Polycarp Ande condemned the act, saying the law has no place for jungle justice. Jimmy Azande reports.
The legal practitioner says it is sad how this is becoming prominent, especially in the rural settings where most of the old men and women who are often victims live.
Quite unfortunate that in very many times villagers, particularly the elderly ones, have been lynched as a result of getting themselves involved in witchcraft. But you know, legally speaking, the law has no place for voodoo, has no place in law. Witchcraft has no place in law, because the law feels that it is very difficult and very cumbersome for you to be able to prove voodoo or to be able to prove witchcraft in court. So these victims of this lynching or these attacks are very unfortunate people. But legally speaking, like I said, voodoo or witchcraft has no place in law. So if we do those kind of issues, people who perpetrate these acts are criminal.
Some of the victims say it is mere hatred and wickedness, orchestrated on the aged by youths who feel they have answers to spiritual problems.
It
is wrong what the youths are doing to the aged people. How can you harass anyone for killing a human being? It is not even possible. I lost a son. How he died, I don't know. I'm saying no to this harassment. The accuser used of thinking that some of them have overlived and as such should go and meet their ancestors. According to the law of creation, one must die. Harassing elders is not a good practice. The youth should stop this bad habit. We must go on as a people. The lawyer called on youths who harass aged Nigerians to respect their fundamental human rights.
So they're entitled to their life, they're entitled to live their life the same way others. And the persons who do these things have no right under the law, because it is only the court of law, a competent court of law, that can adjudge somebody to be a criminal. So they can't even, this was simply what they do is self-help. So if you look at chapter 4, the provisions, the fundamental rights are clearly provided in chapter 4 of the Constitution. And it is clearly in violation of their fundamental rights.
It is hope that the Violence Against Persons Prohibition (VAP) law will come to the rescue of the elderly in Benue villages. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Operators of small and medium-scale enterprises in Nigeria say they are failing due to a variety of problems. According to them, the harsh economic environment brought about as a result of the present economic reforms have given birth to other challenges affecting business activities throughout the country. Trust TV's Adamu Imam spoke to some small business owners and an economist in Bauchi State on the challenges facing SMEs as well as what could be done to address the situation. The report.
Lack of enough startup capital, unfair competition from larger companies, and multiple taxation have been identified as some of the major setbacks that stunned the progress of SMEs in Nigeria. Some operators within the Bauchi State capital lamented that the present economic reforms have dealt a negative blow on small businesses, with most of them shutting operations.
If you calculate what we are spending every month, it's more than 160,000 naira, and this is somebody that is not working, but people continue to at least give him something to feed his family, and the little one he also can get. So the policy of government concerning the tax is really killing. How do you expect somebody that just opened a shop, no more than a week, the local government is coming to tell you to pay tax?
Federal is collecting tax, state, local government, and individuals. You find a particular group of people who will block the road and collect taxes, and nobody cares about it. The problem is a problem with the economy. There is no law that is being obeyed in Nigeria.
An economic expert, Paul Daniel, shared his thoughts on the issues of credit facilities set aside by the federal government for small businesses.
You realize that the effective of those credit schemes are not much effective. The reason is that, one, the accessibility of those credit schemes. Now, they find it very difficult to have access to those credit schemes, despite the fact that the government make a lot of publication that this is where you access it.
However, other stakeholders argue that government needs to play a larger role by creating an enabling environment for SMEs to thrive. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The federal government has revealed plans to boost crude oil production by an additional 1 million barrels per day in the next 24 months. The Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Benga Komolafe, stated this during an event celebrating the 3rd anniversary of the Commission's establishment on Monday in Abuja. According to him, the aim is to enhance the country's energy output and contribute to the economic growth. The initiative will also tackle key challenges in the sector, such as oil theft, pipeline vandalism, outdated infrastructure, and attracting investment. NUPRC reported a dip in production from 1.571 million barrels per day in August to 1.54 million barrels per day in September, representing a 1.68% decline. And now on the foreign scene, passenger train has collided in Wales, killing a man and injuring 15 people. Transport police said Tuesday that a low-speed crash on Monday evening happened near the village of Llanbrynmawr in central Wales. British Transport Police Superintendent Andrew Morgan said those taken to the hospital were not believed to have suffered serious injuries. Morgan said Transport Police is investigating the circumstances that led to the collision. Nearly 2,000 indigenous people from southwest of Colombia protest in the city of Cali on Monday to support government's agenda for the summit. Cali is hosting the 16th United Nations Biodiversity Conference. The message of the protesters could be read on their traditional chivas, colorful vehicles with open tops, as host country Colombia has decided to include indigenous and Afro-descendants group, which it considers key to reversing biodiversity loss in the COP16. And they participated in the construction of the Biodiversity Action Plan to 2030 that the country presented on Monday. The president of COP16 and Colombian Environment Minister Susana Mohammed said in her opening speech that it is necessary to recognize the political power of indigenous peoples and local communities who can lead solutions to the biodiversity crisis. The conference will be attended by delegations from 196 countries and runs until November 1st.
We marched today here in the city of Cali after creating an agenda and after reaching a consensus. We have 8 points which allow us to leave a clear political, cultural and spiritual position above all that we have been positioning. And at the forefront of what we are doing in this COP is the demand for respect for our territories.
And in sports, Rivers United have extended their lead to the top of the Nigerian Professional Football League table following a narrow 1-0 win away against Niger Tornadoes. The victory puts them 2 points clear of Remo Stars, who also recorded a 1-0 home win over Bendel Insurance. In one of the most exciting matches of the round, Ikorodu City played out a thrilling 4-2 win over Lobi Stars, leaving fans entertained by the 6-goal spectacle. The victory helped Ikorodu City climb up to 17th on the log, while Lobi Stars remain at the bottom of the table, struggling with just 6 points from 8 games. Kano Pillars and Aqua United were less fortunate on home soil. Pillars managed a 1-1 draw with Kwara United, while Aqua United were held to a goalless stalemate by Rangers International, resulting in a drop point for both sides. The Korean ambassador to Nigeria, Kim Bang-kyu, has applauded the level of growth and development in the game of Taekwondo across Nigeria as he pledged more support to the federation. He gave this assurance at the just concluded 12th edition of Korean Ambassadors Club Cup Taekwondo tournament, where over 200 Taekwondo players competed for Honor Weekend in Abuja. He said Korea will continue to support Nigeria to a stage where country will win gold medal in the game at Olympic or any world stage. In his address, the president of NTF said that the tournament created a platform for all athletes to showcase their skills and passion for the beautiful martial act. With that, we've come to the end of News Updates here on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, more programs, and more documentaries. Thank you for watching. My name is Lilian Ogazi. Bye for now.